Every city has a rockabilly scene. If you think Elvis, think Johnny Cash, which is like, the bigger names there. That's the bedrock of rockabilly is the music. Even the younger bands will play that style of music. And they dress that way and wear pomade and drive really cool classic cars and look for vintage clothing and stuff like that. So it's a lot of fun.
Well, I love the San Gabriel Valley.
Welcome to the My SGV podcast.
So I grew up here and I still live in Alhambra.
I was raised in between Temple City and Alhambra.
Eventually resided in South San Gabriel.
Our mission is to capture and share the stories of the people of the San Gabriel Valley.
Monterey Park has pretty much been my whole life.
Well, I'm proud to say that I was born and raised in the San Gabriel Valley.
We believe our diversity is what makes the SGV great. And no matter where you are from in the San Gabriel Valley, you will feel welcome. All right, SGVers, welcome back to another episode of the My SGV podcast. Thank you for tuning in. If you are new here, welcome. We bring you the stories of the people of the San Gabriel Valley. If that's of interest to you, please hit that subscribe button. And if you are a returning listener, thank you so much for spending this time with us. We do appreciate it. Well, Victoria, this may be an odd question. Well, actually, you have curly hair, so I'm genuinely interested. What is your hair care routine like now, and has it changed, over the years?
Yeah, it definitely has changed. It used to be, just shampoo, conditioner, brush after. But since I decided, I have an older sister. She has really curly hair. And so when she started caring more about her curls, I saw how improved they were and kind of wanted to do the same for I think my hair is more wavy than curly. But yeah, so I wanted to, get into, fixing my hair because I had dyed and bleached it. Mm. So now it's shampoo, conditioner, then I do hair serum and leave-in conditioner, and kind of make sure it's all in the hair and kind of form the waves when it's wet.
Do you use a diffuser for 30 minutes?
No, I'm not that into it. I kind of just one more simple, and I think it comes out okay. And I have noticed it has gotten better. It feels more healthy now since I've started doing that. So,
did you ever straighten your hair? With a flat iron?
No, I just I think since I was 18, so maybe 4 years, I had done bleach it myself and dye it myself and all that.
Oh, that really would damage it, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And now you seem very happy with your hair, being healthy and its natural color. Mm-hmm. Well, my hair has gone through a lot of iterations. I see when I was young, I guess my mom just allowed my hair to be curly. So it was sort of just maybe cheek length, but curly. Mm-hmm. And then as I got older, Asian kids didn't have curly hair, so I was really aware of that. And I always did everything I could to not let the curls shine. So I always kept it very short. And the styles were blow drying it to be straight. Mm-hmm. And I always wanted a mohawk too. I always wanted a mohawk, and I finally had one when I was in my mid-20s, and even then I flat ironed it, and then I had a curly mohawk for a while, but now I don't know. Now I have long hair, past my shoulder, all curly. When it's pulled back, it's straight, but I've learned to embrace my hair as I got older, more so for myself, and to let what God gave me shine. And then also for my daughter, because I know maintaining curly hair is tough, and I don't want her to feel like she has to be I don't want her to feel awkward, thinking that something's different or wrong with her. I want her to embrace her curls, right? Mm-hmm. So what better way than for me to do it? Yeah. And learning myself how to take care of it. So actually I started with the hair care, right? So my hair care is mostly very simple. I don't wash my hair very frequently. I rinse it every day, but I don't wash it. I don't want to strip it down very frequently. So, and then if I ever do use product, it's pretty light, I think. Yeah, as compared to what I used to be super super thick and hold like almost some sort of polymer, holding it together. So, I wonder what the audience is thinking our guest is about today. Well, we're going to get into that. But before then, thank you to Paris Baguette for sponsoring the show and providing the delicious pastries every week for our guests. We really appreciate their support of our show and our program. Go check them out in the city of San Gabriel on Las Tunas, Paris Baguette, and say hi to Jason for us. For over 40 years, a true local has called Alhambra home, spending his days exploring the SGV's best spots and all its delicious eateries. As the heart and soul behind Dr. Rubin's Pomade, he's dedicated to bringing high-quality grooming products to the community and beyond. Dr. Rubin's is more than a brand, it's a legacy. Based on a formula crafted in 1944, their pomades and other essentials are handmade with the finest ingredients to help people smell good, look good, and feel good. With over 350 shows, concerts, and events under his belt, he's taken the pomade life coast to coast, sharing the brand's passion for great grooming with people everywhere. Dr. Rubin's has 2 locations, one in vibrant downtown Alhambra and another in the port in San Pedro, keeping the connection strong with his community. The company is especially proud of its charitable contributions, donating handmade products to countless organizations and causes over the years. And if you spot him around town, he'll likely be in the company of his crew of dogs and a cat, always ready to talk all things pomade. Meet the man behind it all, Jason Marshak. Jason, welcome to the show.
Thanks, I appreciate it. That's a great intro. Thank you.
Yeah. So you're feeling kind of left out there for a while. We're just sort of chatting it up.
Should I say something?
Yeah.
But
That's sort of, our little dialogue, and it's sort of a teaser to what the guest is all about, right? So we're talking hair, and for the listening audience, you're missing out. You can't see Jason's wonderful hair here. In his full beard.
Yeah.
And I saw you in a hat the first couple of times that we met.
Yeah. I feel like I had to live up to the hype, make sure I was correct today. So, yeah.
Is there a lot of pressure to have great hair when you have a business around hair products?
For a while, we would do the shows, and sometimes I would wear a hat just because we're traveling. And in the beginning, and people would say, why are you wearing a hat? Where's the... I'm like, that's right. I got to show them. So yeah. I don't mind it. I mean, I do appreciate dressing up and doing my hair and my beard and all that stuff. So,
do you enjoy that process?
For the most part, I do.
Is it like a ritual for you?
It can be. Yeah. Good thing about here's the plug for the pomade, but it's easy. So it doesn't. I know a lot of guys. It's like, I don't want to deal with doing everything, my hair and for 15, 20 minutes or longer. So they stay away from like products and stuff like that. But ours is easy. It just goes in, comes out. So it's not a very intricate ritual, but yeah, there is one for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, Jason, this is the My SGV podcast. What is your connection to the San Gabriel Valley?
Well, I've lived in Alhambra for not basically, but my entire life. So I'm 44 now, so that's 44 years, and I love it. I love Alhambra. I love I think we were talking about earlier when I saw you the other day about how it's not like anywhere else in SoCal. There's really not this community, this kind of demographic or whatever, and it's definitely unique. Especially, that's a lot to say. This close to LA proper, it's really its own world, which is amazing. It's amazing.
And what was life like growing up in Alhambra for you?
It was really good. It was, back then it was quiet. There wasn't traffic. You could make a left on a street that didn't have a light. Now there's no way. There's traffic on the weekends. I mean, there never used to be traffic on the freeway on Saturday and Sunday. That's when you would wait to go somewhere. But now there's traffic on Sunday. So it was a little small town feel, I feel, back then. But I do love how Alhambra has changed for the better. Downtown, Main Street and all that has a lot of really cool places now, a lot of good restaurants and things to do out there, which it didn't really have back then. So I do love the progress. I do.
What were you like as a child, Jason?
As a child, well, I was always artistic, and so I kind of leaned that way, and making things and drawing and writing, and I did that for a long time. I come from a medical family. Dr. Rubin was my dad, and I'm lucky where he would always say, you don't have to be a doctor. You can do what you like, what you want to do. So I did. And as a kid, I was, did a lot of those pursuits of just creative things, a lot of sports around Alhambra and the SGV. So a lot of football and baseball. And when I was a kid, I have two brothers. We got into a big fight at my house and we broke something. So they grounded us from Nintendo for a year.
A year?
And
Oh, no.
all electronics. So they took every TV, they took everything. And so
this is a fight amongst yourselves.
a fight amongst us, yeah, three boys. So there's always a fight. And this one was bad because we broke something my mom loved.
Oh, no.
And but that forced us to play outside and to go and climb trees and be little 1950s kids, and which we weren't. So that really, I remember those 2 years fondly now, because I was made to read books and be a human being. So yeah, as a kid, I'm very lucky to have been encouraged to pursue what I wanted to do.
Yeah, and that's not a story that many
No.
people have.
No, there's always a lot of pressure, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and you sharing that your family's of doctors, right? Like even more
Yeah.
so, the pressure often is.
Yes, yeah, very much so. Yeah. So they say, you want an art degree? What are you going to sell art? You're going to eat art? That type of thing. So, but luckily, no, they were always very supportive. So.
And your father is a doctor, but what is your ethnic background, your family's background?
So my dad was a Russian Jew, and my mom is Mexican from here, from LA, from South Central. So I'm split right down the middle. There's two worlds, Romeo and Juliet colliding, which is what we say in our family. So.
Oh no! As soon as you said Russian Jew, you know what image came to my mind? Is the guy from Fiddler on the Roof.
Yeah, yes.
Right, he's Russian Jew, right?
He is a Russian Jew, yeah. That's the most Russian Jew you can get, I think. Yeah.
My family loves that movie. We watched it, I think we
Oh, really?
last year or so.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, with my young girls.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's the stereotypical Russian Jew right there, but yeah.
Okay. What was culture like in your house with those two, very different cultures?
It was great. I was very lucky, that I had both. So even now when I say what's people ask, what's your soul food? What do you look for? And to me, it's deli, which is the Jewish stereotype there, and Mexican food, absolutely, and Asian food because I grew up in Alhambra. So I need them. I need all three.
Yeah.
I look for it. So yeah.
And was your mom cooking Russian and Mexican food in the home?
Not really. I mean, once in a while, my grandma, when she was still alive, who was from Russia and spoke very little English, she would make, borscht and potato pancakes and these really greasy, heavy, awesome things. And my other grandma, who was a Mexican from Texas, would make really heavy, greasy things, but Mexican. Yeah, so it was awesome. But the food was great, so... Unfortunately, I'm paying the price now for all that, but yeah.
And then you live in a city like Alhambra with a lot of delicious Asian food too.
It's amazing. It's amazing. It's funny because I've been listening to your podcast for a while, and it's always the food, right? When the SGV3, it's like, what's the SGV? It's always a restaurant. It's always something. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense because the food is amazing. It's amazing here. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you had a pretty free childhood to explore your passions, and your parents sort of put Nintendo aside for a year, and you look back on it, it sounds like a very positive thing in your life. And what high school did you go to?
I went to Alhambra High.
Oh, and what was that like for you?
Good.
And you would have been there when I was there.
Yeah.
I mean, in high school.
Yeah, we're around the same age, I think. So it's like...
I'm 45.
Okay. Yeah. It was... Alhambra was cool. It was starting to modernize, like my senior year, where they got rid of all the old buildings, and now it's all like, if you see it, it's beautiful now. They have all these giant, it looks like a college campus.
Mm-hmm.
But back then you could leave at lunch. We were talking about that. You could leave for the seniors. There weren't that many cool places to eat back then. There was Rick's.
Yeah, Rick's
on Main. Yeah, and that's where everybody, when you ditch class, you would show up at Rick's. And what else was around there at that time? I think it used to be called the Diner,
Oh yeah.
and then before that, I think it was another diner before that, and that was another cool place, which now just opened up. I'm not sure what kind of food they serve there. It's like a different place.
The architecture remains though. It looks like that
Yes.
classic diner style.
Yeah, they kept it the same, which is I'm glad. I'm very glad. Yeah, yeah. But Alhambra High was cool. I met a lot of great people, and I'm still friends with my friends back then. I'm lucky to do that too.
Is it? Am I imagining it correctly? Did you have a bridge that went from your field to the campus?
Yeah.
Like above the street.
Yeah, still there. It's that was like the football field, and I remember when we had practice for football. There'll be a million cleats just crossing the bridge. It's still there. It's still there. Yeah.
Okay. And so, where does your journey go after high school?
After that, I was very lucky in that I was able to pursue my artistic pursuits for right after. So I was doing writing and illustration for a long, long time, and I wrote for a hip hop magazine for a while. I wrote for a women's fashion magazine, which was interesting, and yeah.
Can I say which one?
Yeah, it's not around anymore. It was called Unleashed, and I met a lot of good people there. A lot of really serious creative people, which was kind of like a eye-opening to be around people who took it as a career more than just something they loved to do, which was also a part of it. But to see people that actually had a studio or $1,000 brushes or those types of things, it really was an eye-opener, for me.
Your company is Dr. Rubin's Pomade, and what's the backstory behind that? The name and how the company came about.
Yeah, I'll give you my sales pitch here. So it's Dr. Rubin was my dad. He was a doctor, and he originated in New York. And I had an old dad. So during World War II, when he was stationed, back then there was no gel, there was no mousse. So everybody used pomade. So if you think Elvis or Johnny Cash, that's how their hair looked. That's what all the guys wore. So since they were in Texas and there was rationing, he made pomade in the lab there, the medical lab, and used it just for him and his friends and the guys in his unit. Moved out to LA, never started the company, never did anything with the pomade. It was just like a personal formula. And when I was a little younger, I came up in the rockabilly and vintage scenes. And my brother was he found the recipe, and we were out talking to my dad about it, and he's like, yeah, you guys should try it. It's really good, So he would make it, and we started to give it out to friends, and we started to sell it. And that's kind of how I ended up here. So yeah.
Well, so your dad invented the formula, but he never brought it to market.
No, he was busy being a doctor, and then he came out here, had us and a family, very busy. So he didn't have time really to do that.
And I think you said you had an old dad, and I now I understand. He was much older than you when you were growing up.
Yes, much older. Yeah, he served in the Second World War, which still blows a lot of people's minds when I say that. But
yeah, that I'm trying to do the math right now.
Yeah.
Served in there, so he had to have been at least 17.
Yeah, he was very young. He was in the medical corps out there, and the fact that I had an old dad, it's kind of like I'm sure it influenced my style and my values and I'm polite to a fault because of him, because it's it's a different time, it's a different era to have a dad like that. So I'm grateful for it now. Back then it was strange, but very very I'm very fortunate.
And you said rockabilly. You grew up in that.
I did, yeah.
Can you explain what is that? I mean, I have an idea, but from your perspective.
Yeah, it's every city has a rockabilly scene, and in the SGV, it used to be a lot bigger. I don't know now. I'm out of touch because I'm old, but it's like the music is, again, if you think Elvis, think Johnny Cash, which is the bigger names there, Carl Perkins, and it's just like a mix of country and rock and roll and honky tonk, the music, which is like the staple. That's the bedrock of rockabilly, is the music. And now there's plenty of places you can go now around the area that even the younger bands will play that style of music, and they dress that way, and wear pomade and drive really cool classic cars and look for vintage clothing and stuff like that. So it's a lot of fun. It's really a lot of fun, and the community is really tight knit, and which I'm always looking for, which is a good community.
What drew you into that?
I don't know. It just seemed really cool at the time. It was really, really cool. I had a bunch of old cars, and
you had a bunch of old cars.
Yeah.
Oh, what kind?
Yeah, I had a '60 Oldsmobile, a giant tank car, and I had a Thunderbird, and I had probably 700 Volkswagen Bugs, and I had a Lincoln. All these things. So you got to take them somewhere. So you clean them up and you go somewhere with them. Yeah. Is
there more to the rockabilly lifestyle, or is it a lifestyle than just the music and the cars?
Yeah, it's definitely a lifestyle. The way of dress. If you're lucky, you work with somebody who's into it, and it's every day. The women dress up every day. They go to work like that, and the guys do too. And the guys wear their hair greased up to sleep. So it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Can you describe the dress of the men and women?
Sure. Let's see.
Because describe how you're dressed. You're not dressed like rockabilly today, are you?
No, I'm a modern man today.
Okay.
It's for the men, the classic look would be a really good pair of jeans, cuffed if you can, and a vintage shirt, which are cut in a different way, because back then the style was much different, and the women, and the hair, of course, the hair is always a focal point, and the women dress in full dresses and heels, and beautiful makeup and hair, and the hair takes a long time for them. It takes a long time.
Is it also, do they use pomade in their hair as well?
They do, yeah. Yeah, our pomade is unisex, so they use it for like curls and your beautiful wavy hair. That's really good for that type of thing. Yeah, to hold and keeps the baby hairs down and all that stuff. Yeah.
As strict as my mom was, she never stopped me from doing whatever I wanted with my hair.
Oh, that's really cool.
And so what's crazy about that is, and I mean like dyeing colors, different haircuts and whatnot.
Yeah.
And one time in my 20s, I was looking through her high school yearbook. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't looking at the names. I was just sort of flipping through pictures, and how they have all the portrait pictures. And one image caught my eye because it was so black. Like the little rectangle, the whole area was taken up by black. And it was the hair. And it was my mom. And she had this huge beehive that took up the whole thing. And I was like,
yeah,
okay, that's why she doesn't care.
That's awesome. The whole frame was hair. Yeah. That's really cool.
And I guess, she used to express herself with hair as well. So
yeah, there's something to that, like Victoria. I've also had I've had every kind of hairstyle. So like I've had cornrows, and I've dyed it green, and I've had a mohawk, and I've had it really long, which I'll never do again. And it's a pain, isn't it, to have it long hair? I mean, I feel like, right, you really have to take care of it. You really have to, or do you?
It's a pain to grow out, for sure.
Okay.
But compared to what my hair routine used to be, it's much more simpler. It's because I can just put it up in a
oh, right,
ponytail.
Okay. Yes.
Right. But if I wanted to wear it down, yes, it's a very long
to maintain. Yeah.
routine.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm good with long hair for a little bit, but every kind of dyed it. My mom didn't like the green hair, and I would be at Pick and Save. Well, there's an old Alhambra.
Oh, Pick and Save.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Save?
Yeah. That was on Valley and Almanzar or
yes.
Chapel.
Yes. Yeah, that little shopping center there.
It used to be Zodi's.
It used to be Zodi's.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I haven't heard Zodi's in a long time. But yeah, and I remember being there, and I was looking, trying to buy something. And I looked down, and there was a little girl looking up at me. I'm like, okay, hi, hello, and she's looking. And I was like, oh, that's right, I have green hair. I forgot. Yeah. So.
I had cornrows also.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah. I think in like 2004 or 5.
Okay.
And I wore it for a basketball tournament. Like this is how I literally got the cornrows. I exited Crenshaw Boulevard off the 10, and I said, I'm just going to drive south until I see a sign that says that they do that.
Wow.
And literally,
That's
I found a spot, and this woman came out, and she had like her 3 kids there, and she was like yelling at them while she's doing my hair. Like she was like super skilled, and she's multitasking the whole way.
Those are the best places. Yeah.
And it was like really rough and fast, and I was like, done. I was like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
And I remember I went to Hawaii like maybe a week afterwards. I was like, oh, can you do this? And like, oh no, we can't do that with your hair. It's too short. I was like, what do you mean? And I pulled out the picture, and you know, I guess you had to be really skilled to do it with shorter hair. I mean, my hair wasn't short, but it was long enough to do it.
Yeah.
But then the lady was like, oh, who did that? Yeah. Sorry, we're getting excited talking about hair. I mean, hair is pretty cool though, right? Like,
it is. Yeah. It's a form of expression for sure. For sure.
So you had green hair.
Green hair. I had like copper hair. What else did I have? I had braids. I had a bunch of braids.
And it's rainbow today. You've chosen rainbow color.
It's rainbow today. Yeah.
I'm just kidding. We can get away because the listening audience can't really see.
Yeah. No.
It's not rainbow. It's not rainbow.
I know. It's just salt and pepper. It's only 2 colors. Yeah. It's a bummer. But yeah.
So you were doing your own thing, illustrating and writing.
Yeah.
And when did the idea come about to take Dr. Rubin's or your dad's formula and sort of turn it into a business?
Yeah, I don't really remember when it was. It was a gradual thing, slowly became apparent that hey, people like this and they're wanted to buy it, as opposed to just giving out to friends and us having a good time. But yeah, it kind of went from there, and doing this, I'm lucky where I get to use all my talents and make the designs and and social media and all the weird things that come along with it. I get to put everything in there. So yeah, that's I've been fortunate that way.
So you're using the product and you like it, your friends like it, and you're like, oh, okay, let's try and let's put your skills to use as a designer and sort of sell it. And when did that come about?
Well, I'm gonna say 15 years ago or so. So we've been doing it for a while, yeah. Which is why I've done so many shows. We would do, I don't know, a lot of shows. Every weekend we were somewhere trying to sell our pomade, with a table set up somewhere.
What does that mean, like a show? Like you'd set up at a rockabilly place? Or?
A rockabilly place, in a bar. Like we did a lot of little ones. Now that we're a little more established, we do like Disneyland, Dapper Day, and we do bigger ones.
Disneyland Dapper Day?
Yeah.
What's that?
If you need to go, see that one. Yeah. Are you a Disneyland kind of person?
They have life passes, right? Their whole family.
Life pass?
Not anymore. Like since COVID, some of us haven't gotten them back. But yeah, most of the family do have like the annual passes. And
cool.
When we were growing up, we would pretty much have them every year. There were only a couple years where we didn't have them. So
that's
we've
awesome.
been a lot. Yeah.
Have you been to Dapper Day?
I think I know what it is because I think it usually takes place on Sundays, or at least days where we're blocked out because we would get the cheapest annual pass. But yeah, it's like people dress up in like kind of dapper styles or just like vintage. So it'd be all the girls are pretty much in dresses. The guys are dressed up. Usually they do like the straps, the suspenders.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's like 20s eras and then to like 50s is kind of how the dress code is.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess I that's exactly right. Like the I guess when Disneyland opened, everyone would show up, like the men in full suits and the women in dresses. So they would go on the rides like that. So it's kind of like a hark back to those days.
Okay.
And so they have like there's an expo there in the Disneyland Hotel, and there's a lot of really, really good creative people that sell like art and things that they made, and Disney related or not. And on Sunday everybody meets at the park and they take pictures and they walk around with women with full parasols, and it's really cool. It's a spectacle. I definitely recommend to check it out. Yeah. Wow.
So you get to bring your product there for that event.
Yeah, we're there. We do a lot of like bigger like car shows and those types of things. But in the beginning, we were like, I remember being at a punk show and we were at this bar in Inglewood, and it was like the band, 10 steps, and our table was right in front of them. So the guy's like looking right at me, dead in the eye, yelling at me, and I'm like just with like pomade in my hand, you know. So those days were fun. A lot of those types of things. Even now, we still set up like in Alhambra. They're starting to do like a marketplace. I think in January, where they're gonna have like local business, well, yeah, handcrafted goods type thing. So we'll be there. But yeah, so we when I mean shows or events and that type of, that's what I mean. It's kind of like we have a booth set up, and I'm over there talking to people and try and convert them to.
Yeah, so I'm curious, what does that sound like? So what if I'm, let's say I approach you, you see like I'm using product in my hair, what do you sell? How are you selling that? In the same way I'm talking to you now. I feel like in the beginning, it was hey, how are you? Like the disc jockey voice. But now it's kind of I tell them exactly why it's great, and it's washed out easy. Again, for a lot of men, it's a chore to have to deal with that. So like even now, I'm like, they'll say, well, what do I do for my beard? It itches, and I say, well, number one, change your diet, because that's really affects your skin, and use our conditioning oils. It works really well. It doesn't take a long time. In and out once a week, you're fine. So I'm really trying to use my my relaxing voice, which is this voice, the slow. I gotta slow it down. Talk to them again. Yeah. And is that the late night DJ voice?
That's my DJ voice. That's my podcast voice. Yeah. Yeah. So just let them know, it's not to be afraid, because it can be daunting, especially for like men who don't. Women is easier. They say, oh yeah, I know what this is for, or I know how to, or what can I use this for? And it's really good for curls, but man's a different animal. So they really want to be, they gotta be convinced.
I would imagine a lot of men are just using whatever product they got at like CVS or
right.
Walgreens or something.
Yeah, and it's usually something they tried in like when they're like 9 or 10, and they stick with it, for like 40 years. So it's like, yeah. So to get those guys to come on board, I tell them it's really simple. It's really easy. So
is your product available like in retail where they can get it pretty easily?
Yeah, it is. We're in a bunch of barber shops, especially in the SGV and beauty supply and salons. There's a lot of really good mom and pop barber shops. I mean, there's a lot of them everywhere, but in the SGV, there's some really good ones that sell our stuff. And then we have, we're also known for our candles. So our candles are in like a whole bunch of bizarre places at this point, bars and restaurants. And yeah.
Is it Dr. Rubin's candles?
The Dr. Rubin's candles.
Is there a formula for it?
All of our stuff, like our original pomades is beeswax based. So they're beeswax candles.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so they burn really good. They smell amazing. And
that's important, because a lot of people, like I shy away from, I forget it's very harmful, like normal candles.
It can be. Yeah, like the chemicals, right?
Yeah. Where do you get your haircut?
My brother cuts my hair.
Your brother cuts your hair? Okay.
Yeah.
Your brother's barbershop.
Okay. Yeah. I go there. There's a place on Valley called Design Cuts on Valley Boulevard.
Design Cuts?
Design Cuts, and it's run by a couple of women who are amazing, Lynn and Carla, and they're very good, and they're fast, which is what I appreciate. Like I like to get in and out, but I go there sometimes, or a barbershop that I'm trying out, which is a risk. You never know. You never know how that's going to go. But.
Oh, we had a guest name his barber as his SGV3, Casey's Barbershop in Monrovia.
Okay.
And he said he's no nonsense. He's like only by appointment, 20 minutes. So he does 3 haircuts an hour.
Whoa.
And he's like, he appreciates it because, it's his time. So he's there, he sits down, boom.
Yeah. Wow.
And like most barbershops, like when I used to get haircuts a long time ago, you just have to wait there. And it was like luck of the draw, right? You may come in, there's like one person ahead of you, or there's 4 or 5 people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So he does appointment by appointment only.
Oh, wow. Assembly line. That's really cool. I gotta find that guy.
Jason, we ask each guest to bring an item of significance with them. What did you bring with you today?
Today I brought something I'm very proud of.
Okay. If you could describe it for the listening audience.
Sure. It looks like a book, a very big weighty book of knowledge.
Mm-hmm. And has a question
It
mark.
has a question mark on the front of it. And what this really is a trophy that I won recently, a couple of months ago in August at the LA Beard contest.
It says Beard Battle LA, a murder mystery, August 24th, 2024, Los Angeles.
Yes, and I won
first place.
I won first place, which was mind-blowing.
Can I see?
Yeah, for sure. So when people come over, they say, "How are you?" "I'm good." "Want to see my trophy?" Here, check it out. Look, take a look. So.
And it's in the category of business beard, 4 inches and under.
Yeah. So
business beard.
There's different categories. So my beard is relatively tame compared to like a lot of the guys. So have you seen those guys who do like they'll get their beard or their mustache and they'll shape it to look like an octopus or like a clock?
Yeah.
That's that contest.
Okay.
Yeah. So and they're really, really well organized, and I've been like a satellite member for like 10 years. I don't know, but they're really cool guys, really creative. They help out actually a lot with charities. Every 2 weeks they go and they make lunches for the homeless as a group. So they're really about the community and helping out, which is always something I look for. But yeah, I'm very proud of it. It's my first championship for my beard.
See, I knew there was something special about his beard. It's an award-winning beard.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, it walks in first. So I go to the room. So yeah.
And what are the requirements, or what are they looking for?
I don't know. I want just I really don't know. Again, like the business beard is like I'm like at the edge of it. So 4 inches, that's pretty long. That's if you take it, a ruler to it.
Oh, it's not the length of the hair. It's the length of the like from where it starts to where it ends.
I think so. I think it's the length of the hair, because there's guys who have like down to their belly button, and that's a whole different. Those are the heavy hitters, and I'm more of a business beard apparently.
So are you're shaping it also, like you're giving it the shape and you're grooming it for this competition, or is it like just wash and go?
For that one I did, I used our pomades and stuff for that. Even now, even this beautiful beard is definitely handcrafted at this point. I've done it so long. I've had a beard since I was like 17 years old, which is bizarre, but it's I can just look at it and trim it by hand. But most of the time you go to a barber or you have it, the clips to get it down. So that day I did put the pomade in my mustache and my Dr. Rubin's beard balm on my beard, and I won, and I couldn't believe it, and I wanted to cry and call my mom and all those things. But yeah, I'm very proud of this.
Well, as a guy who can't grow a full beard, I'm quite envious of your award-winning beard.
Well, it hides my flaws, there.
Oh, I just learned the other day that the Amish shave their mustache because military leaders have mustaches, and they're pacifists.
Wow.
So have you ever seen them? They have full-on beards,
never.
But they shave the mustache.
Right, the Abe Lincoln, yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa. Wow.
Yeah.
That somehow makes me respect them more. You know what I mean? That's to go to that extreme, Wow.
I mean, I can visually see it now too, right? Like I didn't even notice what looked strange about their facial hair.
Yeah.
But yeah, because the military generals and whatnot, they'll have like big handlebar or big mustaches.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Well, Jason, I want to get into more of your company and the products that you have and the different things that you offer, but let's take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Sometimes, even the best of us can slip up. That's why the law offices of Scott Wormuth are here to pick you back up again.
And while they strive to get you the biggest compensation possible, oh my gosh!
Their main concern is your health and recovery. They work closely with doctors and insurance companies to make sure you get the proper medical treatment.
Initial consultations are free, so give them a call.
At the law offices of Scott Wormuth, we're with you all the way.
I'm Scott Wormuth. We've been fighting for your rights for more than 40 years.
All right, we're back with Jason. Jason, before the break, I was sharing how envious I am of your award-winning beard. Every time I refer to your facial hair, I'm going to say award-winning.
Yeah, thank you. Yes.
Award-winning beard. My father could grow a full beard, and like, what happened to me?
Cool. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
My wife seems to like that I don't have like the full-on hair, so I'm okay with that. Jason, when we come back from the break, we like to ask questions from this deck of cards called Icebreakers, and it's just a fun way for the guests, fun way for the audience to get to know us a little bit better. So
Okay.
I picked this one out just for you, Jason. What was the worst haircut you ever had?
Oh man, many. I've had many. My mom gave me a haircut in high school, and it was bad. It was bad. Yeah, I love my mom, so I got to be careful. But it was like, it was jagged and rough, and of course, she's like, no one's gonna know, And then I went to school, and everyone knew. They're like, "Oh man, what happened to your hair, man?" I'm like, my mom, man, my mom. I couldn't blame my mom.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my worst one. But along the way, as I try different barbershops, especially when I'm traveling, I'll jump into a shop. It's you pay the price for being adventurous sometimes. Yeah, but it's okay. I think it's okay. We'll see. Yeah, but
Victoria?
I think might be, it's not really, I think the cut itself, but I tried like orange hair, and nobody in my family liked it.
Did you like it?
I kind of did, but I could also see like why they didn't. I don't know. Something was off about it, but I was being a little stubborn. It's like, I like it. You guys don't.
How bright orange? Was it really bright, or was it like a?
Yeah, it was more of a bright orange rather than like an auburn or a natural redhead.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've also had really bright orange hair too. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure you can imagine this case. So my hair is really curly, and in high school, a lot of the Asians and one of my best friends had this haircut, like zero on the sides, really short top, and then long bangs that sort of was a pompadour went back over it.
Yeah, I remember that haircut.
Yeah, right. That works if you have straight hair. Now you can picture it, right? I mean, and even with the amount of like blow dry and straightening, you can't achieve the same look.
Okay,
right?
yeah.
So
yeah.
I think I had that for like maybe a few days, and I was like, okay, this doesn't work. And I just had to cut it off and start over.
Well, so you got the zero on the sides too.
Yeah, I mean, I think throughout high school, I always had that.
Okay.
Yeah, I would shave my head also once a year, but I was always trying to hide my curly hair. Always going against it. So very short.
Yeah.
Blow drying it. Yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed a lot of people who have curly hair. It's like they've had to go through a lot, and I feel like I'm like, wow, I really do wish I had really curly hair. I do. It looks so cool. It's so cool. It's like you wake up in the morning and it's just there and it's bouncy. I mean, when it's healthy and good. So I've always wanted to do that. You can't get that without, I envy your hair. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're back to level.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's every time I would get a haircut, every single barber stylist would say the exact same thing to me. And it didn't take until I was like in my late 30s. They would say, "Oh, you have great hair. Why don't you like, embrace it? I wish I had your hair." Like I would always hear that my whole life, and I was like, no, I don't like it.
Yeah.
Jason, back to Dr. Rubin's pomade. So obviously you do pomade, but you have a lot of other products too, right?
We do. We have at this point a lot of weird things too that we make.
Weird things.
Yeah, we have like little mirrors. We have dinosaurs that are mirrors, and we have.
It goes beyond hair.
It does, yeah. So we're lucky we have a creative little team there that we get to make whatever we want, and we put affiliate it with Dr. Rubin's, which is great. Those people love those things too, which makes me happy because I get to keep making them. But we have candles and lip balms. I brought a bunch of lip balms for you guys.
Oh, cool.
And other stuff. And we have lotions, and we have like a foot scrub that works really well. It smells good. And what else do we have? Aftershave and beard stuff. And it's like whatever we like, we make.
I see.
So, yeah.
Do you have 5 o'clock shadow stuff?
We do.
Because that's really all I got.
That's a cool. I like the 5 o'clock shadow. It looks like, here's a man. He's been working. You know what I mean? He rolled the sleeves. 5 o'clock shadow. Cigarettes. That's like a.
So when I grow it out a little bit, that's what I imagine in my head, right? But then if I see a photo of myself, I go, that dude needs to shave.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, my head, in my brain, it's always better. Yeah.
Well, Jason, we're going to move on to the final segment of this show where we get to learn about what you like in the San Gabriel Valley. Jason, this is what we call the SGV3, and we get to learn your favorite places or experiences in the SGV. So what would be number one?
Number one, this is hard. I've been listening to a lot of your episodes about, I'm like, what do people usually say? It's always food, which is good. I'm always like, yeah, there is so much good food. I'm interested in like creepy paranormal things. I actually heard your episode with, I think her name is Malia, who does like the haunted history type things, which was fascinating. It seems like a scary job to have, creepy. But in the SGV, there's a lot of like paranormal activity, like a lot. And in fact, like my favorite one is, or few tales, is that there are quite a few Bigfoot sightings by like Azusa Canyon and like the foothills of the mountains and all that. The closest one I've heard of is in Eaton Canyon in Pasadena, where like a Bigfoot chased a guy down to his truck and he had to roll up his windows really quick because the Bigfoot was like right there. And that I forgot when, I think that happened like in the 80s. So I would say the paranormal activity. There's also like the haunted forest at the end of lake there, which I think, another callback. I think I saw you guys hike up there to that. Where was there's a real trail.
Yeah.
Oh, is that picture? Oh, cool.
So the hike that Scott and I always do, and what I post is it starts there at the Cobb Estate.
Cobb Estate, yes.
Yeah, and it is called the Haunted Forest.
Yes.
In high school, I remember going there at night with my friends.
Yeah.
It was creepy.
It was super creepy. Yeah. Yeah. It was like, how far could you get? Right? Like how far into it?
Well, so now as an adult, I go there, either before sunset or right at sunset. And I have been there on occasion when it's dark and there's like a fog that rolls in there and it's extra creepy. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I don't think I can handle the fog. Damn, that's amazing.
Yeah. And people hang out back there. Sometimes there's some tents. So like it's, yeah. But yeah, okay. Haunted forest.
Gotta be aware of that. Yeah. Yeah. I did that hike recently and,
up to Echo?
We're trying to get to this,
you went to this thing?
Yeah.
Did you really?
It was a group of us, and
did you get to the table at the top?
No, we got pretty far, and one of the girls in the group, is dead quiet. We're walking for 20 minutes, and she says, "I can't do this anymore," and so we had to come back. We had to go. We turned around, which was a bummer because I haven't been there in 15 years or so. But,
oh wow, okay.
But yeah, I love that area. There's so many legends there, and I'm sure you've heard all those scary stories, but especially in high school, right? Do you
remember a place called the Vega House?
That's funny. I was going to bring that up. That's weird that you mentioned that. Yeah.
Okay, finally someone who remembers that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, have you been there recently?
No. In high school, we used to drive by it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so tell me about it.
Yeah, that's funny. Oh, that makes me excited that you know the Vega House. So that place, the legend. Do you know the legend?
No.
Okay.
I just know it was very creepy.
Yeah, it was really creepy. It stands out, right? It doesn't belong in that neighborhood whatsoever. It's got like this stone, like a stone fence right in the front. And there was a guy who supposedly lived there named Old Man Morales. And he, he wasn't a good guy, or he was a witch or something. And, hated kids and all these things. And I remember we went to go investigate it after high school.
Okay.
So it was like 7 of us. And they have these old cars, these old Cadillacs from like the 60s that never moved. And there are like 4 of them just parked all over the property. And it makes me so happy, the Vega house. But it's like now if you go there, someone's bought it, and it's like a respectable house again, which is a bummer.
Wow,
it's a bummer.
That's
yeah.
Really I remember going there in high school like several times, just parking it. Like it was a very creepy place.
Super creepy. Yeah, never lights on, right? And then there's like trash and it was huge. It was really big. Yeah,
it's like the house that a movie set would like build as a haunted house.
Yeah, and then on either side is just normal Alhambra houses.
Yeah,
it's weird. It's weird. I miss it. Yeah.
And you knew it as the Vega house?
The Vega house. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. We always say, let's drive by the Vega house. It's creepy. I'll take my dates there, like in town. Creep it up. And
wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So is that your third or like I'm trying to keep track.
Sorry. I guess that's one long one. I apologize.
The creepiness of the SGV.
I would say that yes. The long history of paranormal phenomenon within the SGV is fascinating. Number 2 is another broad one, which I apologize for being broad, but it's like I always like the various downtown areas of all the neighborhoods in the SGV. So of course I like Main Street, downtown Main Street, which is again used to be very quaint. It still is, but they've definitely brought in hip happening places, so the food is cool and there's really good Instagrammable things about it, which is I love it. I also like Sierra Madre, like downtown Sierra Madre. Every holiday they go all out. Halloween, it's Halloween. You feel like in a movie set because it's and Christmas is great up there. Covina has another great downtown, a little strip there. The restaurants, all the mom and pop stores. I really like how those places have businesses that are unique in terms. What I mean is they're not just Chipotle or whatever. It's like there's a baseball card shop, and there's an antique place, and a restaurant that serves one type of food, that type of thing. So it's very unique. But every city seems to have one, or every neighborhood I should say in the SGV, and so that would be number 2 is the multiple downtowns.
Yeah. Claremont has one.
Claremont has a really good one.
Pasadena.
Is Claremont SGV?
It is, yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, so that
in the maps like that we've looked at, and they consider themselves San Gabriel Valley.
Wow.
So they're at the very edge. Pomona is also like on the outskirts.
Gotcha.
Pico Rivera, we say no. Whittier, no.
Whittier, no.
Yeah.
I was actually asking my friend about that. Okay.
Montebello, yes. Monterey Park, yes.
Yes, Monterey Park for sure. Yeah, the ramps.
But see, East LA College is in Monterey Park, but people were like when we were posting that, they're like, oh, that's not, East LA is not SGV. We're like, yes, we agree, but East LA College is in Monterey Park.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I want to say, you probably know more than I do, but Cal State LA is also in.
No.
Is that LA
Cal Sereno
proper?
Is LA proper.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
And what would be a third?
Third is, I'm biased to this place, but it's new. It's called the Happy Humble Hub, and it's in Alhambra on Main Street there, and it's a beautiful place. It opened, I think, a few months. I'm going to say in the summer, and it's hard to describe. Inside, it's like set design to look like a fairy forest. So there's lights and these giant flowers like the size of a car that open and close, and it smells good because each part of the room is themed. So there's a fall, a winter, and a spring and a summer, and they have scents that go along with that. And what it is, it's really like a marketplace where they have we have a booth there, but all these like artisans and handcrafted goods set up there, and they have events. I think they had a comedy show last week, but the place itself, it's run by 2 sisters who are amazing, and they. I always tell people, go check that place out. Once you go, hard to describe. Once you go, you'll love it. It's just it's so well done and so well decorated that I think you'd appreciate it. But that'll be number 3, I think.
Happy Humble Hub.
Happy Humble Hub. Yeah.
And where is it located?
It's on Main Street in Alhambra. I think there's a Ross next door, and yeah, it's a really big place. But
oh, okay, I know where that is. Yeah.
Yes.
So P of A is right there. Sort of,
Yeah,
there's
right.
like a little street that goes through.
Right across the street from B of A. Yeah.
Okay, I know exactly where that is.
Yeah.
There's maybe a coin shop there.
Yeah. There's a coin shop there on the corner. Yeah. That's been there forever. That coin
Forever.
shop.
Yeah. Remember when the Edwards moved in on Atlantic, and that was like the place to be at?
Yeah. Yeah. I would get dropped off to meet a girl. That was like the place to go. Yeah.
And then they had this stairwell that went both ways going upstairs, and there was maybe some arcade games up there.
Yes, I do remember that. Yeah.
And then that sort of died down, and then they got in the Renaissance 14 on
right.
Main Street. And that one sort of went away.
Yes, it did. Yeah, that was the modern one, and I think now it's like a homeless advocate.
Oh wow!
It was just a beautiful building. It's all glass, and they kept the parking structure from the Edwards.
Oh wow!
And they kept the palm trees, those giant, beautiful palm trees. Which is I'm glad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I missed that theater too. Yeah, yeah. And there used to be a little one on Bay State, a little Edwards. Do you remember that one? It was like 4 theaters.
Bay State.
This is the big post office in Alhambra, the one that's off of Garfield's.
I only know the post office next to the high school.
Next to Alhambra High?
Yeah.
That one, that really big post office. Across the way, I think now it's condos. There used to be a theater also in Edwards, and they only showed 4. They only had 4 theaters. Yeah, I don't know if you remember that one.
I think I do, very vaguely.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Cool. Yeah. The screens were tiny.
Those were the days when you would drive by and you could see the times, right? They would put out the show times, and you could drive by, and that's how you would, or you would have to call in.
Yeah, you call in. Yeah. Yeah. And then they had movie phone for a while. Did you remember movie phone?
I don't.
Okay. Yeah, you would call in and it'd be a guy with, this crazy voice, and you're like, Return of the Jedi, 8 o'clock, like that kind of voice. You don't remember that? Okay, yeah. That was cool too. But then the internet kind of took the place of all that.
Sure. Yeah. Well, Jason, thank you so much for coming on the show. And it was a trip to go down memory lane with you.
Yeah.
If people want to get your product or get in touch with you, what's the best way to do that?
You can find us at our website, which is drrubens.com or drrubenspomade.com, or on Instagram, Too Much, which is Instagram, Dr. Rubens Pomade is our name there. And we're in shops. We're on Amazon. If you send us a message, we deliver. We're always in touch.
Awesome. Jason, thank you so much for coming on the show.
I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Well, there you go. Another episode in the books for you. That was really fun, just to chat up and see, the origin story here. And what I got was someone who, overlaid his talents, his passion for creativity into something that he knew worked well. But even that was not just a given thing. I heard him having to go out and get his product out there. And, that's ultimately, I think, what makes a difference in success or not is you may have something great, but you still have to do the legwork to let people know about what it is that you have. And so it sounds like Jason has been successful at doing that. So go check out his product, Dr. Rubens Pomade. If you like this kind of content, please subscribe. Don't forget to like and share. If you want to see the full catalog of episodes, check out our website, mysgv.net. And please consider becoming a contributing member to the show. Check us out on Patreon. Become a Patreon member today under MySGV Podcast. And until next week, we'll see you then. Thank you for joining us on the MySGV Podcast. Check out more of our content on our website, mysgv.net. This show was produced by Scott Wormuth, directed by Russell Mano, edited by Victoria Allers, and original music by Yone OG. If you'd like to join us next week as we capture and share more stories from our diverse community, feel welcome.
Nice mother. No, kind of mother.